Hi, my name is Ravi. Today I am working on Hyundai Accent 1.5 liter year 2000 model. Customer complaint check engine is lit and other shop has scanned the vehicle and found airflow sensor and oxygen sensor related codes. Customer has been informed that it need new sensors. So he has changed the airflow sensor and the upstream oxygen sensor. But the problem still exists. Still, check engine is lit and codes are present for those two sensors. That was the customer complaint. Okay, let's diagnose it. First and foremost, I am going to hook up the scan tool and get the data. When check engine light is lit, scan and check the code first. But do not ever change parts by focusing fault codes. That will not be a fix. First thing is diagnosing. Data-driven diagnostic will drive you to accurate diagnostics. Therefore, pull the data and analyze them to find the real cause. First, I am going to check what are the available fault codes. Tap on the read fault codes. Here you can see bunch of fault codes in the engine control module. P0103 mass airflow circuit high input. P0134 O2 sensor circuit no activity detected. P0112 intake air temperature sensor, P0135 O2 sensor heater circuit and P1529 TCM request. First of all, take a report of the fault codes and do not clear the fault codes until you fix the vehicle. Remember that clear fault codes not a fix or repair. Okay, save the report and look for the data of sensors relevant to the fault codes. For that, we should go to the live data stream. Before that, start the vehicle. You can see check engine light is lit. Okay, go to the read data stream and select all the data pins. Here is the airflow rate for mass airflow sensor. First I change the unit as gram per second. Look at that figure, 122 gram per second. That is very high. For this engine, it should be around 1.5 to 2 gram per second at idle. This high airflow rate witness for the circuit high input code of the mass airflow sensor. Next, you can see intake air temperature sensor. Seems to be low input value as shown in the fault code. Here is the oxygen sensor bank 1 sensor 1. 450 millivolts around seems to be the bias voltage. That indicates sensor signal is in open circuit. So, this data reveals that oxygen sensor, airflow sensor and intake air temperature sensor output data is incorrect. We have to think about that what could cause for such a situation. As other shop has changed both sensors already, this could not be a problem in sensor itself. It could be another reason such as wiring harness fault or ECM fault itself. Look here, when I rev it up, mass airflow sensor rate is still stay around same value. Okay, let's go to the underhood and check the wiring harness first. I forgot to tell you that customer another complaint was low fuel efficiency under this situation. Definitely oxygen sensor and the airflow sensor problems drive the vehicle into low fuel efficiency. Here is the mass airflow sensor. And here is the bank 1 oxygen sensor 1. Oxygen sensor looks new one as customer said. Okay, I am going to pull the wiring diagram and check what are the wiring arrangements for these two sensors. Okay, here is the wiring diagram for Hyundai Accent 2000. Color codes are little bit different but still same wiring arrangement. Let's see the wiring arrangement for those two sensors we are working today. Here you can see mass airflow sensor. Here you can see the upstream oxygen sensor. Let's see what is the wiring arrangement of the mass airflow sensor. Remember, this sensor has two sensors, mass airflow sensor and intake air temperature sensor. Okay, let's see what is the wiring arrangement of the mass airflow sensor. You can see here number 1, blue wire goes to the engine control module. That is the mass airflow sensor signal wire. Number 2, blue and white wire, that is also going to the engine control module. That is intake air temperature sensor signal wire. Here is the number 3, orange and black wire. That wire goes to the engine control module, but same times you can see this wire shared the oxygen sensor too. So that is the sensor ground wire for the mass airflow sensor and the oxygen sensor. So you can understand same wire shared these both two sensors. Here number 4, gray wire. Gray wire is going to the top side and it's come here to this splice. This splice go to the injectors. So it is clear this is a 12 volt feed line. So this feed line comes to the mass airflow sensor. So number 4 is gray wire, that is 12 volt feed for the mass airflow sensor and intake air temperature sensor. And number 5 is yellow wire. That wire also go to the engine control module, that is the 5 volt reference wire. Okay, now we know the wiring arrangement of the mass airflow sensor. And remember, same times this number 3 wire is being shared with the front oxygen sensor as the signal ground. So let's test the mass airflow sensor under hood. Okay, I am going to measure the voltage. First I am going to pin number 5. That should be 5 volt ref, but here you can see elevated voltage 8.7 volt. Next, number 4 pin, that should be the positive battery voltage. Here you can see 13.6 volts battery voltage. Here is pin number 3, that should be the signal ground. Look here, we have a problem. It has an elevated voltage. Next, number 2 pin, IAT signal wire. That should be below 5 volt. Pin number 1, mass airflow signal wire. That is also elevated voltage but should be below 5 volts. I think we found the problem. Elevated voltage on the signal ground wire mean no signal ground for the sensor. Okay, you know already mass airflow sensor and upstream oxygen sensor shared the same signal ground wire. Look here, I just dragged the oxygen sensor harness out. I got the socket into the hand apart from the harness. Definitely somebody has played here, so now I have to fix the connector first. So off camera I checked why we lost the signal ground connection for the mass airflow sensor. Same times you know already this signal ground wire has been shared with the oxygen sensor too. So both sensors don't get the signal ground connections. Check the signal ground wire integrity by checking the continuity test. So it had good continuity, which means this is not a open wire. Definitely this problem come from the ECM. To fix this vehicle we need a new ECM or repair the ECM issue. But we have another option, that we could give another signal ground connection for these two sensors through another sensor. Okay, I have done it already and it works. So I will show you how it could do under the hood. Okay, I had to repin the oxygen sensor via harness first. Off camera, I done several testing and this oxygen sensor via harness repair. Sorry for the less video footages, but I will show you how to fix this car. As you are seeing here, I gave a jumper connection from another signal ground wire. I got that signal ground connection from the downstream oxygen sensor. In this way, mass airflow sensor and the upstream oxygen sensor get the signal ground connection which they have been lost already as the ECM malfunction. Don't worry, for the testing purpose I just leave the oxygen sensor pins naked, but I will fix it later. Okay, just go and start the car and we'll see what is going on. Engine started smoothly. Let's go and check the scan data for mass airflow sensor and the oxygen sensor. Look here, with the signal ground connection has fixed, sensor signal has come dramatically normal. But airflow rate showing here kilogram per hour, so let's change it to gram per second. It's showing 3.6 gram per second. It is bit higher than normal at the idle. But look at the oxygen sensor signal. That is perfectly switching between rich and lean as normal. Let's check how sensor signal response when rev it up. Look, both sensors are perfectly response. This car is fixed by providing a signal ground for these two sensors. But this is not the perfect solution for this car. Replace the ECM or repair the ground issue of the ECM is the right way to repair this car. But if the customer is looking for a budget solution, this is okay. We could jump a signal ground connection from a other signal ground wire as I have done already for this car. Also, this car need a new mass airflow sensor because it is showing bit higher airflow rate at the idle. Even it was a new sensor, it has been defected. Okay, car is fixed and cleared the fault code. You can see here no more trouble codes. Customer asked me to fix this car in a low cost method. I just jumped the signal ground connection from the downstream oxygen sensor to upstream oxygen sensor nearby the engine control module. I done it off camera and changed the old mass airflow sensor too. Okay, let's start the car and check the data. Okay, you can see check engine light went away. Okay, let's check the data. I select several data bits here. Just look, with the old mass airflow sensor we got much better airflow rate at the idle. But it is still higher than normally expected. Best rate is 1.5 to 2 gram per second for this engine as I mentioned earlier. With this rate, customer will never get the best fuel economy. Because you can see cylinder injection time is 3.6 millisecond at the idle. But it should be around 2.5 millisecond at the idle. That is the best rate for the idle. Basically this car is fixed now, but customer know this car need a new airflow sensor. We had a test run too and had a good experience and smooth rolling over. I would like to remind you never change parts upon error codes. First thing is diagnosis. Thank you for watching. Stay subscribed with us for more diagnostic videos.